Candace takes me by the arm and leads me behind the bar, through a door, and down a flight of stairs into the wine cellar. Uh-oh. This doesn't sound safe. Where are we going? Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Richard with Everlasting Gaming, and welcome back to Fare Thee Well. She remembered him. We came back to Cedar, Maine, and she recognized us, and she freaked out, and she probably would have turned around and actually tried to say something to him if it wasn't for friggin' Michael dragging her out of the damn bar. But hey, we have time. We will find out what happens when they have their long, dramatic, beautiful, romanticized reunion. But until then, we're still at the bar. We have this woman with an interesting dress on and a pendant that I'm still going to take because it's awesome. And we're going to see what's going on. I don't know who she is, what she's doing here, but let's find out right now together. A lone vocalist in a violet dress takes the stage at the Hearth and Home. Was that the name of the bar? She appears to be close to Michael's age, who is now 24. Oh wow, it's been that long? Do you guys remember a time gap that big? I remember that. The girl gazes at the expectant faces all around her. A hush falls over the crowd as she leans into the microphone, and her face betrays not a single emotion, but pure wonder. It's almost as if she's somewhere else, remembering better times, preparing to sing to herself in a world that stood still, hanging off of every word. The young woman starts to sing, and the meager audience is immediately captivated. She begins softly, her voice barely above a whisper. Come over the hills, my bonny Irish lass. Come over the hills to your darling. You choose the road, love, and I'll make the vow. I'll be your true love forever. Her voice is beautiful and wraps around the dark air of the bar. That is very loud. 1 second, let's lower that just a little bit. You know, it's funny, when I first started recording this, I remember lowering it and it went back up for some reason, so sorry about that. Her voice is beautiful and wraps around the dark air of the old bar. I know this song. I know it well. Though I've heard it sung before better, I admit. Emmeline, maybe? Red is the rose that yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. But my love is fairer than any. She has one of the best voices I've heard in my life. I've only been this absorbed in song once before. The voice of the girl in the blue dress. Interesting, the emphasis on color there. Remember that. Grows and grows and grows, only to fill the air with complete emotion, feelings seething with energy. Like her voice in an endless flowing spring, and to listen to it is to drink and drink and drink again. It's nice to feel this way one more time, even if it's not as strongly. The girl in the blue dress continues to sing. While she finishes Red in the Rose is the Rose, and prepares for her next song, she takes a faithful step back from the microphone. Her skin beads with sweat. Her chest heaves up and down to the rhythm beat of her exhausted heart. Her posture is tired but proud. Her breath short but steady. Her eyes somber but bright, vibrant with fire. We just love to really look at people, don't we? We did it with Emmeline, and now we're doing it with Rosa, I think her name was. She steps back up to the mic and keeps on singing. Across the bar stand the current employees of Hearth and Home, Candace and Michael, the latter having taken the job his mother once held to help pay for his education. Oh, Michael grew up fast. But who are you? The bartender just had a complete sex change. Wow, you look so different, British bartender man. Candace and I are having a lovely conversation. Michael's unwavering attention is set on the young performer. Hey, Michael. Candace tries to grab her employee's attention, but has little success. Oh, I wonder if the bar owner's still alive. Mike? Hello in there. Candace gives a defeated sigh and waves a hand in front of Michael's face, jolting him back to reality. Oh, sorry, Candace. What did you need? Candace laughs at the young man. She's clearly embarrassed him, though it's no surprise that his face has become several shades redder than some of the wines behind the bar. Table 4 was waving you down for refills. Get out there, bud. Oh, right. I'm on it. Michael prepares several mugs of draft beers, loads them onto a tray, and heads out on the floor. All the while, he pays minimal attention to his task, still smitten by the young singer. He reminds me of a story my father would tell me. I know the story you mean all too well. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. No, it's all right. Amazing, all this time has passed, and I probably look exactly the same. Well, I know I do, because he's immortal. That's crazy. Michael returns from his waiting duties. You would think if I looked exactly the same, if Michael remembered me from that day, he would be a little, like, suspicious or something, but I guess we'll see. Maybe he doesn't remember me. Because as far as we know, he only met him the one time. Candace gives him a good long stare, and he blushes again. I know she's pretty, but please do try to pay attention to our patrons, okay? You know, she does kind of look like the bar owner. I wonder if that's his daughter. Yes, ma'am. I mean, no, oh no. Candace laughs the way her father used to sometimes laugh, with her entire body, hands on her stomach and leaning back. That is his daughter. When she says used to, does that mean he's dead? Oh my god, I'll remember the good times. Michael turns away from his boss, and back to the singer. The young performer begins the last verse of her song. I remember one night in the drizzling rain, around my heart I felt an aching pain. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. The song's end is met with a quiet, yet suitable applause. I feel reminiscent about my similar experience in the very same bar 35 years prior, and smile in spite of myself. I propose an idea to the young man across the bar. Why don't you buy her a drink after she finishes her set? That's ridiculous. I can't do that. I don't even know her. And how could asking possibly hurt? Besides, you don't need to know her to become friends. I'm nothing more than a stranger to her, though. Ha! Now that is ridiculous. As my father would say, strangers are just strangers that you haven't met yet. But what if... Mike, you can make excuses till the sun comes up and you're blue in the face. Or you can ask the lady to have a drink with you. Michael stops his protesting and considers the words his companions have shared with him. For a moment, he looks as though he plans to ignore the advice he has received. However, one quick glance at Candace and I confirm that no is not an option. I guess you guys aren't giving me a choice, huh? Absolutely not. Now then, let's talk strategy. Candace and I share a laugh while Michael looks on, terrified at the prospect of whatever scheme Candace has in store. Mike, that's the end of the set. Get over there and ask her to join us. Candace, are you sure that's a good idea? Of course it is. All my ideas are good ideas. If it were anyone else, I'd disagree. Come on, Michael. Get out there. Michael closes his eyes, tenses his body, and hesitantly walks towards the stage. This ought to be good. We should be able to hear them from here. Well, you should be able to hear them from here. Senses of a damn hawk, I tell you. You flatter me. As Rosa finishes the final verse of her set, the dwindling crowd offers up a surprising applause. After the applause dies down, Michael approaches the stage with an ounce of reluctance. Rosa, who is gathering her things, notices him and welcomes him with a greeting, catching him somewhat off guard. Candace is right. I can hear them, though just barely. Am I Batman? This whole thing is just the story of Batman. It's just wrapped up in this pretty little packaging. Oh, hello there. You work here, right? Gah, hello. Yes, I work here. That classic awkward Michael charm is second to none. Well, my name's Rosa. What about you? Oh, me? I'm Michael. Rosa tucks her hair behind her ear. It's nice to meet you, Michael. With a name like Rosa, I feel like I should give her like a Hispanic accent, but I don't think the world's ready for that right now. Yeah, you too? Rosa waves and begins to walk away. Wait, excuse me, Rosa? Rosa turns back to face Michael. Yes? What is it? I was wondering if you're not busy, if you'd like to join my friends and I for a drink. Well, I haven't gotten any plans, so count me in. Michael is clearly surprised that the answer came as easily as it did. Really? Rosa stifles a giggle and smiles. I haven't gotten any other plans, and I'm sure you and your friends will be fun. Michael's face lights up with joy. In that case, we're sitting right over here. What are they saying? Quiet, they're coming. I'm just imagining us at the edge of our seats with our bar food and just our alcohol, like, oh my god, did he do it? Did he do it? The drama. Oh, Michael's laying down the moves, I see. You're having too much fun with this. Naturally. Candace lets a carefree laugh out. I'm not having enough fun. Hey guys, this is Rosa. After some quick introductions, Candace makes everyone drinks. Watch, she's like the meanest, most violent drunk the world has ever seen. This all goes horribly wrong. They're on the house. We all cheer for Candace's hospitality together. Thank you, Candace. That's too kind of you. I listen in as the other three around the table share their stories, occasionally pitching in my own experiences. Michael and Rosa are fast friends, and by the end of the first hour, the pair get along as if they've known each other all their lives. We get along very quickly in this bar. It's starting to make me wonder what the hell are in these drinks in the background. The bar's patrons dwindle until we are the only people left in the building. But even after everyone else has gone away, we stay, sharing stories of loss and hope, of dreams and regrets. Rosa begins to tell her story, and her eyes light up with a childlike happiness. When I was younger, all I ever wanted to do was go to school to study music. It's always been my passion. So I worked at it, from the time I first saw a future in it until I realized the dream. But the light in her eyes fades into a quiet sadness. Aw. When I finally made it to music school, it just didn't feel right. I had worked so hard for so long, year after year, but the culmination of my entire childhood left me to disappointment. But I was still determined. Never mind that I couldn't seem to make any friends or do well in my classes. Music was still my passion, so everything else be damned. Rosa wipes a tear from her cheek. For all of my effort and determination, halfway through my first year, I dropped out. I hit rock bottom. I hated myself for quitting, but I never saw an alternative. I wasn't happy. I'm sure as hell not happy now, but I'm better than I was. So I can say with certainty that I don't regret making that decision. What I'm unsure about is where I'm going now. All I have is my music, and the will to keep moving forward. So since leaving school, I've been traveling wherever the music takes me. I hope that it can one day lead me to true happiness. I guess for now, I'm just along for the ride. Candace raises her glass. Well, hell, I'll drink to that. Rosa nods gratefully to Candace and turns to Michael. I guess I could say I understand some of those feelings. I finished school, but it hasn't really done me much good. As soon as I graduated, I came right back home to Cedar. I didn't just come back for my mother, of course. I had to, given her health these days, but even if she were in good health, I knew I'd still be back here. Oh no, is she not doing well? But I get the feeling this is all going to end with her, like, in her final breath of life, saying how much she loved me and how could I leave her, and it's going to be all dramatic, and then this dramatic violin is going to come out of nowhere, and we're all going to cry, and I'm going to cry, and you're going to cry, and it's going to be this whole thing. Kind of feel like I'm in some kind of void, stuck between childhood and true adulthood. Something is holding me back, but I don't know what it is. And I can't, for the life of me, figure out why. The idea that Michael was drawn back to Cedar makes me chuckle. In my experience, getting away from Cedar's one hell of a task. Not that Cedar is a bad place, mind you. It just has this pull, for lack of a better word. Candace nods in agreement. Cedar's always been good to me and mine. Candace waves a hand over her shoulder, motioning to the empty hearth and home. This old girl's been in the family for 4 generations now. My father, granddad, and great-granddad all put their lives into this place, and I'll be damned if I don't do the same. But this life isn't for everyone. Maybe you just need to broaden your horizons, see more of what's out there. Michael considers this for a moment. Maybe, but I haven't really felt like my life ever needed to start somewhere else. Then what are you missing, Mike? Michael slumps in defeat. I honestly don't know. Out of the 3 of them, I can relate most to Rosa. She seems to feel like there isn't a place where she belongs. Even so, I can sympathize with Michael and Candace. If this were me, I'm just saying, if this were me in this party, like listening to them talk and all that, I would just be munching down like mozzarella sticks. I'd still be listening, but I would just be a gross heave of cheese and grease. It would be gross. But unlike myself or Rosa, Candace is very deeply rooted here in Cedar. Though I've grown to consider her a close friend. We're about as different can get. Michael reminds me of Emmeline, which of course comes to no surprise. He likes his life in Cedar, but he's mindful of his future. And where it might take him. I look up from my empty glass, which I had been absent-mindedly turning over in my hand, and catch Rosa's eye. She curiously meets my gaze. Hey, stay away from Rosa, wayfarer. She is Michael's. So how about you? Do you have any grandiose dreams or aspirations? Any miserable failures that landed you where you are now? Oh, billions, honey. I've been around since the dinosaurs were around. Yeah, quite a few than I can count at this point. She narrows her eyes in suspicion. Clearly, I piqued her interest. I used to be a lot like you, looking for somewhere I could belong, going wherever the road took me. There's nothing wrong with that. No shame in it whatsoever. It takes time to discover who you are, to find out who you want to be. So what advice can you give? Advice? I hardly think I'm qualified to be giving advice to anyone. I'm not concerned with qualifications. I just want to hear what a similar mind has to tell me. In that case, the best thing I can offer you is this. The belonging that you're searching for, you may never find it. Were circumstances different, I might still be searching for it. What you can do that will make all this difference is really quite simple. Life is going on regardless of what you do. Don't just let it happen. Take charge of your own life. That's very true. Even though you may not find what you search for, it will make the search easier. I've always had trouble putting this into words. It's been in the back of my mind for as long as I can remember. But words always seem to fail me. I guess what I'm trying to say is, you aren't going to find what you're looking for if you are so caught up in your search you can't see what's right in front of you. So simplified, I'm assuming he's saying just live for the present, live for the moment. Screw it, just go for it. You want mozzarella sticks? You go get those damn mozzarella sticks. Rosa sits back in her chair, looking rather confused. Sorry if that doesn't make sense. I'm not the best at speaking my thoughts. She shakes her head. No, I think I understand. Candace laughs her usual laugh. Watches like the most ridiculous, like ugliest laugh, like like, what the hell was that, Candace? Get out. I don't care if you're the owner, just get out. I have no idea what you just said, but I know you're probably right. Anyhow, it looks like we could all use another round. I'll be right back. Isn't it great to know friends? You get free alcohol and stuff. As Candace goes to retrieve our drinks, my thoughts wander to Emmeline, as they often do so. Tell me, Michael, how is Emmeline doing these days? Oh, this is when the sadness kicks in because we find out she has stage 4 cancer or something. I was going to say, credits, she's dead. I called it too soon. Hours pass, and it's clear that we've reached our limit. I wanted to know how she was doing, no fair. The clock behind the bar reads 3:36. They skipped the interesting part. Not cool. My goodness, I hadn't realized how late, early it's gotten. I really should be going. Rosa stands and puts on her coat. Thank you all for a wonderful evening. I'm truly grateful. Rosa, would you mind if I walked you back to your hotel? Motel. Candace sneaks a wink and a thumbs up in my direction. I can't help but grin. Well, okay. It's very nice of you to offer. Was she inviting me too? What was that? I'm starting to wonder what kind of person you are there, Rosa. You're one of those, huh? As the two prepare to leave, Candace begins to clean up while I lean back in my chair and stretch my tired bones. Hey, Rosa, could you just wait by the door? I'll be there in just a minute. Sure. Michael, now standing in front of me alone, turns to me. I just wanted to thank you. Tonight has been one of the most memorable nights of my life, and it's all thanks to your encouragement. There's no need to thank me. We all had a good time. I think it's time I left Cedar. I've spent more time in this little town than I'd intended to. It's the first time I ever came back somewhere. But now, it's time I move on. Life will go on here, just as it always has. My journey is far from finished. This place has taught me a lot, and I like to think I'd given something back. Though no other place will ever quite fill the gaps Cedar will doubtlessly leave in my life, I choose to make Cedar a part of me, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. Maybe I don't need to thank you, but let me anyway. You've always been a good friend to me. Let me do the same for you. Michael extends his hands to me, and I take it in mine. We exchange a handshake, meaningful to each of us in different ways. Thank you. Goodbye, Michael. I take a long look around the cozy bar I've become so familiar with. I see the tables in the booth where Candace's loyal patrons gather after a long day's work. I see the bar where I first met Candace and her father before her. I see the stage where I first saw Emmeline all those years ago, the same stage that Rosa just performed on a few hours ago. I close my eyes and breathe in the familiar scents of pine, fire, and alcohol. I will surely miss Cedar. I'll miss the hearth and the home. I'll miss Candace, Michael, and now Rosa. I'll miss Emmeline. I will miss them all, but I will never forget them. I stand and walk over to the coat rack. which sits beside the door. My coat is now hanging alone. After putting my coat on, I start out the door, but I'm quickly halted by the length of a broomstick being thrust in front of me. Is she gonna try to get me to clean? I know what you're about to do. I never expected you'd stay forever. About 2 hours ago, I figured this would be your last night in Cedar. Candace looks very serious when compared to her normal, more gleeful demeanor. Now, after seeing you just a moment ago, I'm certain. It's just time I moved on, Candace. I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to stop you. What is it, then? She cracks a slight smile, but gives away nothing. I'm secretly my father. Off comes the mask. Before you go, there's something you need to see. Here it comes, any second now. Well, what is it? Come with me. Candace takes me by the arm and leads me behind the bar, through a door, and down a flight of stairs into the wine cellar. Uh-oh. This doesn't sound safe. Where are we going? She reaches me to the empty section of the wine rack and produces a large sealed envelope. There's a chair over there. Take as much time as you need. She hands me the envelope and walks over to the door. Candace turns back to me. She looks sad for a brief moment, but then smiles again. It's been fun. Thank you. Without another word, she turns once more, closing the door behind her. I sit down in Candace's chair and look at the envelope in my hands. I run my hand across its smooth surface, wondering what this is. Carefully, I tear it open and its seal. Inside are 3 smaller envelopes, each marked with a date: 1967, 1987, and 2002. These are all the dates that we saw coming up as we were playing. I start with the envelope labeled 1967, and inside is a letter, handwritten. The handwriting is excellent and unmistakably feminine. Wow. So, she just handed us an envelope with, I don't know what it is, but it sounds like, since it's from each of those years, maybe it's a recollection of something. If it's feminine writing, maybe it's Emmeline's. Emmeline's? Who knows? I guess we're going to find out how she's doing after all this time. But you know what? I think this is as good of a place to stop as any. Everybody's growing up. Isn't that pretty? Isn't life grand? Michael's gotten older and he's found love in Rosa. And Rosa is with him in a motel and she winked at me, so I'm a little confused about what's going on with her. And good old Candace just has this wonderful bar. And I think we're about to find closure in these letters. But we're going to find closure in the next episode because these are going to be beautiful. And I'm excited to read them. You're excited to read them. This is going to be a great. I think this might be the end coming up. So I want to see how this ends. I'm excited. Alright, you guys, hey, if you guys like new and exciting videos just like this, gaming videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell so that you get notified every time I post. Alright, you guys, hey, it's been fun. It's been quite a ride. I'm loving this. You're loving this. We're having a blast. I'm Richard with Everlasting Gaming, and as always, have a good night.